Good morning, this is Alpha, and in today's news we have more drama breaking out on the internet. But we also have the new Nier Automata and Stellar Blade DLC that's coming to PS5, as well as the possibility of PC port release in 2025. So the background game that's being played here will be Nier Automata, the Steam version for PC. But in the drama-related news today, grummz reports as of 1 hour to go the airbagged threatening Smash JTV and the threats by directed towards himself by being struck with hammers. These, of course, are veiled threats, so it would be amazing to see that Tenor is allowing people to display shows of violence on it. But anyways, back onto the Stellar Blade news. We also have there's going to be a crossover DLC with Stellar Blade, which is going to be pretty illustrating because of the two androids themes and motifs in the games. Nier Automata was Game of the Year, and it was always a fan favorite for players and such like that. So it's interesting to see how the Nier Automata DLC is going to be received. So that will be fantastic. There's people very excited for that. Also, someone is expressing concern over the Konami licensing because they saw shirts on Amazon being sold with Konami, Contra, and Metal Gear logos on it. So the response to that is that Contra and Metal Gear are registered trademarks, Class 041 trademarks, IC 041 for entertainment services, and they are live and registered. So that person may be a licensed person selling merchandise, so there's no cause for concern, as the people would have probably already been sued if it was a forgery or fake. So in other news, Smash GT reports that Alyssa Mercano opened up a Patreon fan page showing stripper pics and she's monetized it for about $50 a month from the players, which is considered pretty pathetic. Many people find it controversial. People are attacking 8-Bit Eric, calling him a bad person from World War II, even though he's Mexican, which is patently absurd at face value. On to other things. Nick Rekieta is screwed, but I'm not going to go into that because that is just the snowball that keeps rolling. And fantastical news about that. John Delarose is asking what games he should get his kids for Christmas. I would recommend Stellar Blade and Power World. And such like that. So we also have grummz reporting that the Baldur's Gate 3 and Dragon the Dark Age Inquisitions is well, actually not that. Someone called Base Player is attacking anti-woke quote-unquote gooners by quoting Kotaku articles about the Baldur's Gate 3 sex scenes and Dragon Age Inquisition sex scenes ranked worst to best by Kenneth Shepard. So this Kotaku reporter is interested in the pornographic effects of those two franchises, which of course one was Game of the Year but had more content than the latter, which was considered a box office bomb. So if you like Stellar Blade, you're bad, but if you like these two games which have ranked sex scenes, then you're obviously a bad person. But I personally like Stellar Blade because, it's having the Nier Automata DLC, which is gonna be good. So on to that. On to other news. We have lots of things going on. The post-election drama and such like that. Fandom Pulse is reporting that Rey is the most valuable cinematic asset for Star Wars, but the unfortunate thing about Star Wars is that it is crashing to the ground like a lawn dart because its franchise is essentially ruined with ham-fisted political messaging for the sake of entertainment. So they've decreased their entertainment value for the sake of very offensive political messaging. Someone here is talking about savage memes, which of course is Minxie. She's cool. We have That Park Place. Disney Snow White actress Rachel Zegler appears to wish harm or misfortune on the president-elect of voters, who is unhinged in lengthy social media tantrum. Let's go to that one, see what that one's about. So, what Rachel Zegler here is crying about is that her pony didn't win the big prize. She went on a unhinged social tantrum, as ex-user Steph Annie reports here. Rachel Zegler hopes the president-elect supporters never know peace until her followers get off X, because the CEO of X supported the president-elect, and ends the conversation with F. Donald Trump. This is Disney Snow White, because she probably won't face consequences for posting this. Yeah, Rachel Zegler is utterly toxic and insufferable, and she thinks that her position in the entertainment industry is to wage war against her audience when they don't like her politics, which of course is going to drive the audience away, and that's going to be terrible. She finds herself in the midst of this. I find myself speechless in the midst of this, Zegler said. Well, if she's speechless, then she obviously has a lot to say. Another 4 years of hatred leading us towards a world I do not want to live in, and lengthy repetition of the previous statement, just reworded it for fear-mongering. But the fact is that her opinions are unpopular. She is outvoted and outnumbered, which means that she's in for a world of pain if she keeps thinking that she's going to fight the world. Even Atlas, when he propped the world up, I mean, eventually the back's going to break and that world's going to come crashing down. It's just an illusion she's enamored herself with, which of course is anathema to the plurality of people that oppose her. She also says, "I shouldn't be this shocked," she continued, "but I am heartbroken for my friends who awoke fear this morning." So she's living in an ever-living state of fear that she's going to be whatever bad things because the person she didn't like is in power, which of course is she's escalated her opposition to the point of temper tantrum, hoping that people are going to give her a pacifier, which of course is insane to think about. But the budget for Disney's live-action Snow White starring Richard Zegler exploded to $500 million. That's pretty expensive, and the show is universally reviled by almost everyone, so it's going to fail. She's going to blame the president-elect for why it's failing, and she's going to throw a massive temper tantrum until she exhausts, which is the natural, logical sequence of events for the course of action that she's taking. She's going to exhaust herself, and then she's either going to concede or rest until she has enough energy to resume her temper tantrum. "There is no help, no counsel in any of them," Zegler said, continuing to malign fellow Americans who disagree with her politically. Of course, she's going to use it as long as she has currency to use it with, until the point of exhaustion, and then she's going to seethe while she rests, building up energy to throw another tantrum. Get off Elon's app, by the way. What the F word are you doing? They're going to eat you up on Twitter. Yeah, that's because you're outnumbered on Twitter. You're going to get savaged because you're outnumbered 1,000 to 1. You're going to get trashed everywhere you go. Because you're outnumbered, and they're just going to swarm you. That's the way the rules of battle attrition work. It was announced the other day that Vivek Ramaswamy will head up the incoming administration's new Department of Government Efficiency. Ziegler didn't seem... Oh, yeah. An organization that will... Yeah, they're going to fire 50% the federal government because it's excessive bloat. Elon's going to do what he did with Twitter because there is an excessive bloat, a spending issue, and massive redundancies that is a tax on everything else. She proceeds to get more heated, ending her diatribe with another litany of the president-elects. Sorry, I'm trying to use metonyms, but I almost slipped there. So, yeah, she's throwing an excessive tantrum here. This latest Rachel Zegler controversy was incendiary and insulted more than half the country, of course. And on the X platform, she illustrated quite succinctly why she's suffering from the effects of battle attrition, because she's hopelessly outnumbered and just getting swarmed by everyone. It's just, she can't fight the whole world, and the sky is coming down and crashing down upon her. And she doesn't know what to do. She doesn't handle it because she doesn't have a plan for failure other than to throw a fit. I was always taught when I was in the Marine Corps, always have a plan for when you fail, because that's inevitable. I mean, that's always a default course of action is failure, because it's the easiest one. I mean, the easiest way to get out of a war is to lose. Gina Carano gets another big win at Disney as court rejects Disney's attempt to block Discovery. Ooh, that's a pretty interesting article. I might look at that one later. This is an article that I'm reading by The Park Place by, I think, John Trent. No, M. Montanaro is the author. Sorry, it's not a Trent article. But anyways. So, this article now creates a parallel with Gina Carano. Disney, Lucas Star Wars actress Gina Carano was fired from her critically acclaimed role in The Mandalorian because she shared a meme on Twitter. Yeah, it's the thing is that this is when the polarity on Twitch was inverted, which of course comes down to psychological splitting, the polarized extremes. And the thing is that Rachel's not in power anymore, and she is splitting, so she takes things to the extremes because she fancies herself a grand revolutionary in a theater of battle. But the problem is that she's hopelessly outnumbered, and she's going to get crushed by the waves of opposing opposition, as seen on Twitter, where the plurality of people absolutely oppose her, and they're not going to be afraid when they have the numbers to use those numbers of attrition to oppose her directly in a frontal assault.